Welcome back to our second week of distance learning. Thanks for everything you're doing to contribute to your learning and the learning of our students. And thank you to the many folks who have responded to the survey so that we can become better as a school at this kind of learning environment. We also begin this week turning to a new book of Torah, the book of Vayikra or Leviticus. And it's different than the other four books in that it doesn't contain all the lush narratives and the sibling rivalry and the human drama that we find in the other books. Rather, it focuses on the ritual practices of the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the wilderness. And so it's a really good question. Now that that place of practice is no longer available to us, what does this book mean to us? I think a clue is found in the very first word of the book, Vayikra, calling out, Hashem, God, calling out to Moshe. And it's written in every Torah scroll with a very tiny aleph, unusually small, the aleph at the end of Vayikra. There's some traditional explanations for it, but it seems to me that that they don't quite serve our purposes right now, and we'll save those traditional explanations for another time and instead look at the place that an aleph has in other parts of Torah. So, for example, in the Aseret HaDibrot, when God gives the Ten Commandments, God begins them with the word Anochi, spelled with an aleph, to describe God's self. The very first Jew that God has a relationship with is Abraham, spelled with an aleph. The very first human being that's created, for that Adam HaKadmon, that person who is created female and male, all mixed together. Adam is spelled with an aleph. And finally, the word that's used in Torah and even still today in how we speak in Hebrew with each other comes to represent the first person singular, ani. So in all of these ways, the aleph comes to teach us that this book about the practices, ritual practices of Judaism is not meant just for the Levites, but it's rather meant for all of humanity. And it's not about the sacrificial or the ritual practices. It's about the fact that those practices were put in place in a time and an area of the world to elevate people's behavior. In other words, the whole enterprise of Vayikra is to change our behavior and to make us look at others and behave toward others differently than the cultures around us. So as we think about the week ahead and what it means to kind of be cooped up at home, it seems to me if we're going to make our behavior different from others and respond to these four alephs, we're going to be acting with kindness in the face of sarcasm and cynicism. We're going to be extending ourselves to others even though they're on the other side of the door that's closed. And it means listening with patience and generosity when others that we're close to might be short or anxious with us. It means ultimately to set our intentions this week to pursue the aleph of divine inspiration, the aleph of our community's commitment to living with kindness and pursuing justice, the aleph of dignity and worth of every individual, including ourselves. May we find ourselves this week inspired to lift our own behavior on account of this solitary little aleph. Have a great day and a great week.